Okay, right here I'm going to teach you how to produce a plasma television. So when you get you will cut a glass of your own size, and then you will get a thumbprint, blue color, white color, or whatever color that you want. You know the ink pad for thumbprints. You will get it, and then you will lose the cover. And then when you lose the cover, you will add water to the cover to the you will add water the to the foam. Okay, like you see like an ashtray, and then you want to pour some water into the ashtray. So it's the same thing I'm talking about. You put some water. Okay, so you will have some ink extract, that flows like water from the pad. Then place it on the glass and press it softly to extract the ink from the pad, and then do it smoothly until you get something very very enticing. Leave it for some time to dry, and that's all. You've got your screen ready. What lies behind the screen of a plasma television that gives it the ability to show images is the camera. So you plant a camera of exactly that size. For instance, if you're using web camera, you see that when you put on the web camera and you open the drive, the appropriate drive that produces the camera vision, you will get your face or whatever you want to capture ready to show on your system. That's where I employed Newton's law of motion, Dalton's law of motion, and the rest laws in physics. So with the laws of physics, you can achieve a clear vision. But there's a very important thing I want to drop, because you need internet connectivity also to fix up that television. So I will wait a while for you to throw a question for me to finish this part of the lecture. Thank you. Welcome back. Here we got a question which says all. As you can see the cursor all. So you want to know all about this. So I will start afresh again. Um, how to produce a plasma television. Cut a glass the appropriate size that you want it. Alright, then you will use a cut tool to streamline the glass in square shape or round shape or whatever shape, V shape, whatever shape that you want your plasma screen to be, and then get a pad for thumbprint. Okay, and then put some water inside the pad. When you put some water inside the pad to get the ink flowing, you will place the pad on the glass and then press it appropriately so to get a good circumference on the glass, you see. And then the next thing, remember that circumference is equal to 86. How did we get circumference? We're going to calculate it. C is equal to 5, I is equal to 12, R is equal to 2, because we've got to that level already. And C is equal to 5, U is equal to 11, M is equal to 5, F is equal to 1, E is equal to 12, R is equal to 2, E is equal to 12, N is equal to 2, C is equal to 5, E is equal to 12. So when you plus these numbers together, it gives you 86. Then what is this 86? You can use this number to judge anything in the world. So for me not to divert from this particular lecture, you should understand that the plasma television or whichever television that you're watching at all or you're using at all gives you information about life, movies, name it, news, broadcast, and stuffs. Okay, you can actually judge yourself from those platforms. And let me elaborate more. The judgment I mean here is real judgment. Like for instance, whatever your eyes, you know, looks upon is a judgment on you from whoever that is ministering from the television onto you. Okay, how did I know about this? For instance, I am teaching right now. I am teaching you how to produce a plasma television, and then it means that you have not paid me for this lecture. Okay, no, you have not paid me for this lecture. So definitely, I am a judge over this lecture. Okay, and then as long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest will not cease. That's all. All right. So, to further elaborate more, so we don't make mistakes about this lecture put together. After you have gotten your screen ready, you put it. Don't put it on the sunlight. Just keep it in a cool, dry place, maybe in um, a cupboard or on top of a cupboard, but somewhere that you make sure that it's very safe. All right. It's not as if sunlight is very, very good, but you see, if you check the labor market today, you see that most of the work goes on within a room, and then if you're outside doing this job, many people may be around and you may not get a very comfortable situation to finish this job. So secondly, you're gonna get your central processing unit ready. The function of the central processing unit is to get your system working. Alright, the central processing unit, as the name goes, plays the number 5 in football. Okay, so what is the duty of the number 5 in football? The number 5 in football is a defender of the goalpost. So you are trying to defend the system from every attack and make sure that the system is well protected from viruses and whatever. Okay, and then the system here, so you don't make mistakes. Okay, because when this job is done, it is no longer going to be a system. Okay, it's a system because when you look at SYS TEM and you give it a calculation, S is equal to 3, Y is equal to 4, S is equal to 3, T is equal to 2, E is equal to 12, M is equal to 5. You can also say S is for Sabra, Y is for Yabi, S is for Sabra, T is for tiger, E is for elephant, M is for monkey. It's just to keep you going. So whatever that keeps you going becomes a system for you. For instance, if you hop on a business and it's progressive, it is a system for you. If you stick to it, you keep on progressing. That means you will surely come back with the result. As Pastor Chris Kilomi of Christ Embassy normally preaches all the time. But this is an inversion of sciences, which I so say to pardon from integrated science. You see, when you are in your embryo stage, it's very, very much pretty easier for you to grab lectures easily. So I wouldn't say you say bad things about this guy. He has tried so much actually, but you say each time you feel weight upon yourself, I will introduce a movie called Let the Weight of Your Glory Fall on Us. Alright, when you consider that movie, you will see that this movie is a song. All right, it was produced with a very good camera, Canon camera of about 2000 pixels. It was able to capture the naturality of this movie, and it was a live one where you see the power of the Holy Spirit, which we have also experienced in Cargo Village to the glory of God. And then you see smokes coming out from different places to represent the power of the Holy Ghost. So that's what we're talking about when the Spirit of God comes upon you. It gives you the ability to do extraordinary things in your life, and you begin to progress the more and more into your life. But permit me, I am a devoted Muslim. I don't joke with my prayers. So, and at this time, I will also believe God that I'm in line. But to be specific with my speech, I would want to wait a while to hop back on Facebook where I normally pick my notification um, to prove myself static. So, but thank God my mind is on all, and then I am giving it out as soon as possible. Welcome back to this episode, How to Produce a Plasma Television. So, when you have gotten your processor working, uh, but before you get your processor working, you must get a power unit, okay, of about 300 amperes, and then make sure that it's well electrocuted. All right. We are summoning energy from Kainji, okay, above solar surface, and then we don't have any problems with electricity. So instead, you may decide to use a battery. Considering the size of your screen, you may go about in the market and then search. You will surely get something that is pretty much fitting for your delivery. So the most important thing here is for you to get your microprocessor working. So how do you do this? Simple, by connection. When you get the microprocessor, you will see the applicable wires for negative and positive and neutrals and stuffs. But it's very easy when you look at the electricity wire. You split it into two. You can put it in a socket, be it 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever. You do the testing. So I suggest also you buy a tester. So when you put it there, you need to get a bulb ready also to fix it appropriately with the header, okay, towards the bulb, so you can get the signal and make sure that the bulb is working. The purpose of this is not the bulb actually, but to make sure that the wire is alive. And then the neutral part of the wire is just a compensation from the company, so it's easy for you to extract, and that's the electricity itself which we are talking about. So it's a mistake from the electrical company, but today we can actually convert it into whatever that we are doing today. So you can extract it, forward it with whatever you desire, maybe a tape or something special, just to get your positive and your negative. And it's very much elaborated. When you go to market, you see that most of these cables are painted red and blue and different kind of colors. But all you need to do is to get a cable. You don't need to consider the capability or the thickness of this cable. All you need is an electric cable that is working for you. So get your tester ready. So now, when you have connected your power unit to a source and the light is on, okay, and then make sure also that all of these things you're doing is put on a good table for progressive induction. So when you get this power unit connected, okay, it is not necessary for you to test the power unit, all right, considering the dangerousity of the battery and the melting surrounding. All right, when you consider melting and the surrounding, you see that electricity could fluctuate. So but now we are not talking about fluctuation. We have a stable electricity, but being scientists that we are, and then we are progressing, we will need to be careful and employ also the things we used to know in the past, and then make sure that we give out to the public something that is very, very um, necessary and strong. So now when you connect your cable, your power unit cable to the socket where you're getting the electricity from, where you're getting the current from. We're not going to be talking about alternating or direct current. It's the same. Alternate and direct is the same, just like appropriate and proper. So you will see a port on the power unit where you can connect your processor to and get the current available to the processor. So now you need a soldering iron so you can solder the cables directly at the port where it is provided on the power unit. Okay, let me split it to a lower level. For instance, if you get a universal you got a universal power charger, okay, universal power charger, the one you can make use of if you want to charge a separate battery. You will see that there are two points there where you can fix up a battery that brings the current. So you can take the processor cable and then solder it directly to the you solder it directly to the negative and the positive. For instance, if you want to charge the battery, you want to place the battery, you want to place the charger, sorry, into a socket. Some of these chargers have signals, some of them does not have signals. Okay, that is indicating light for you to prove that the charger is working. Okay, but the most important thing is that at this stage you need to get a charger, a universal charger with an indicating current, signal or light. Okay, an indicating light to prove that or let me not use indicator light, let me just use, okay, you just get a charger with approve of work. Okay, approve of work, you need to test it and make sure that it is working, and then at the time you're doing this work, you also make sure that you monitor. Okay, you're very, very steady to look. It's a must that you look. It's a must, you must look on the charger to make sure that it is working, all right, before you connect the processor cables to the points where you fix the charger into the socket to get power out of it. All right, so you may decide to do it with soldering iron, or you may decide to do it by or with a sellotape. Okay, so now you get your processor working, and then now that your processor is working, the next is to discover your heatsink, because definitely you're gonna close this television, and then you know the spaces depending on you, yeah, depending on you, whatever, but the heatsink is very, very necessary considering the environment, because some people may not be able to achieve a volatile environment where you have the air conditioner cool, so it's very necessary for you to break the surroundings of your television so that cool breeze could enter also, and then with the help of the heatsink, it is reduced moderately to fit in with the environment, so that you will show that your customer will not come back to you giving you one complaint or the other. So at this time, after you have done that, I'm eating my cheese. So find something to eat, whichever is a lecture. So after that you've got the heatsink working. The random access memory, as the name implies, goes in search of the signals from the Wi-Fi and ranges to the Internet Explorer where you can actually get the applications working. Applications are not connected to the internet. It is placed on your computer screen, loaded by every various companies, depending on how much that you have charged. For instance, I have my email working. Okay, the birds are there in the sky working, so every email I get appropriate to the time I logged in becomes the response variably to all my messages per se. And you understand what I'm talking about. So now the TV is ready to show. So the final thing you need here is a camera, right? So now, how do we produce this vision? You need to get just a storage part of the a storage part of the plasma television that completes the lecture. So now you will load as much as programs as you want. You can put Google, you can put Internet Explorer, Safari, SeaMonkey, New Monkey, name it, Elephant. There are lots of them, games and stuff like that. Okay, so you fix this USB appropriately to the USB port. USB port is attached to the power unit. So when you fix it up, when you look at the back of the power unit, it has a fan also that cools it. And behind the power unit, you have the USB ports presented. So when you have covered this lecture, okay, it is pretty much easier for you to put up the USB. The power unit has the function of extracting these images from the USB. Okay, depending on the amount of videos you have placed into your USB or whatever data that you have incorporated into your USB. Alright, even if it's an empty USB, it's a space, so it will accommodate air and then cause bombardment of molecules within this circumference, okay, to produce a result for you. So now this is where you have a blank screen, right? So now that you have got your USB ready, you will keep it aside and focus on the appropriate lecture which I've given you this time. This is where the real work is. So you will place the camera exactly at the middle of the you place it at the middle of the television screen. So definitely you're going to need an iron rod which you will fix maybe with a screwdriver or whatever, or a soldering iron also, okay, to make sure that it works. I may not need to tell you what to do at the base. You may need to do a perforation or whichever way you want to do it, but the camera must be standing. For instance, I have a plastic camera. I want to incorporate it into the television. So what I do is I just get it, use it to sellotape and put it there. Okay, to avoid shaking. If I carry it, it may shift, and then I may be tempted to start moving. So if I do something like that and I don't sellotape it, if I have to carry the television, the camera will shift, and then you will see the images rolling at different points in the in the television, and then it will be rotating just like a rainbow and stuff, and it won't be steady. But if you place it stable, you will get a stable interface, okay, where you can monitor your images appropriately, you see. So what I mean here, for instance, I have a camera here, and then I am watching myself through the driver, okay. So if I move the camera to the right or to the left, depending on how I'm turning the camera, you will see that the image will be rotating appropriately. So that's what I mean. So when you put it at the middle of the system, you need something depending on the height of the camera, but the most important thing is that you get it appropriately to the size of your system. There's no other way you can do it apart from the fact that you need to do the positioning in such a way that is going to show. So you must complete your work before you do the covering of the system. Okay, so now how do you connect your camera? Most cameras have direct cables, most cameras have USB cables, most camera have different things, but the easiest here is the one by which you have the USB. So now the USB, you also connect it to the USB port of the um, microprocessor. That's where you need to put it on. The essence of this is to get your camera on and the driver working. So when you have connected your camera to the processor, what happens here is the videos and the videos on the scan disk, once you put on your system. How do you put on your system? I will touch that now. Okay, you connect your power unit to the socket and your power unit is on, and you solder your microprocessor to the power unit, and then it transfers power to this processor and it's working. Then you connect the processor, okay, through the USB which you've placed in front of the camera. Alright, so the USB at this time has to be in front of the camera, so for you to get an appropriate result for yourself, you see. So how do you fix the rest of the system? The rest of the system is just for you to couple it, but I'm going to give you another downtrodden lecture finally for you to get this working properly. So when you get a computer, a complete system, okay, you lose out the screen. When you lose out the screen, you take the computer platform and place it, okay, you place it on the table. When you place it on the table you carve out the size of your screen. When you carve out the size of your screen, you will use it and place, you will place it on top of the base. That is, the screen is separate, you just place it on top of the base. All right, you don't need to cover the base after you have extracted your keyboard out of the base. Okay, then you just cover this, you just cover the screen. Okay, you take the screen and put on it. So at this time you may not need to apply any GV or whatever on top of it. It becomes very visible for people to see what is going on, okay, how the system works. The only thing they will see is just heat and then sound, and then how the inside of the system is being built. That is all. Then, but the most important thing there is a camera that you need. So this is where you need to employ a camera. So you will take that camera, but before you take that camera, you find something to cover, okay, the base of the computer system which you've extracted appropriately. So when you have covered it, but before you cover, you must make sure that you study, you see everything, and then you know exactly where to connect your camera. So once you put on the base, your camera will be able to show and capture. So what are you going to do at this time? You will connect your camera appropriately to the USB port. You connect it to the USB port. Some of the computers have the USB port outside, and um, some of the these cameras have the USB port inside also, and most computer systems have these USB ports placed in the inside and on the outside. So you must study the company which you're going to, and then you understand your products and you're sure of what you're demanding. So now what you need to do here, for instance, if you have the USB port on the left side, be it in the inside or outside, whatever, but just make sure you get a long cable. Even if you don't have a long cable, you get an appropriate cable. There are spares, or at worst you buy two cameras and then cut some cables and then keep the other one. You can also do um, a recoupling of the cable, all right, for you to get in this case. You may be losing some parts actually, but finally you're gonna achieve your result. So you extend the cable to the outside, you put in the USB, and just make sure that the camera is working just like you have a desktop computer, and then or laptop computer untampered, and then you are using your camera with the driver, you see. So you also have your CD driver, which you can use to install programs, and you can also install programs with the USB from any part of the computer. So you just get your programs ready. But the most important thing is, before you cover this platform, you make sure that you perforate the areas appropriately so you can get your cables fixed. Okay, so when you've got your cables fixed, um, this camera, you will need to cover it and then get an appropriate program, okay, that can give you a complete vision, depending on the size of the screen. And of course it has to be the appropriate size of the computer base, all right. So where we're going to experience a little problem with some students here is at the opening of this plasma television. We're gonna get something that is immediate or professional. Of course we're gonna get it. How are we going to do how are we going to do that? When you put it on, you will see lots of programs showing on your screen, because where the problem lies is on the screen actually, you see. So now when you put it on, you will see your own covering. That's all that you will see, your own covering. So I've taught you how to cover, okay, in the previous lecture before we came down to this particular one. But for me to remind you again, you must have to use your GV. That is your ink, your thumbprint stuff. Okay, your thumbprint stuff. All right, you must use it. You put some water inside of it, and then you prepare your screen. And at the time that you've prepared your screen, you will use something that is appropriate also, to clothe it, so that when you put on the system, and when you put on the system at the start of the system, you're getting a very good um, layout, a very good layout. So where do you get the light from? This is another thing. Okay, where do you get the light from? It's a very important thing. So what you need to do there at this time is to employ you will employ the camera only, right? You will employ a camera only just at the middle. So when you put it on, when you put the computer on, um, the light will come from the camera. The light will come from the camera, immediately. So the program you're going to use for this camera matters so much. Matters so much. The only thing you need is a driver that is able to feel at least above above your interface. Okay, a program that can enlarge itself above your interface. So there are lots of programs like you have the VCL Media, you have the Windows Media, and lots of them. Okay, so you need an appropriate program that can give you that enlargement. Okay, so there are lots of it. You just go to the internet and browse, and then do your research. Okay, but as for me, if you ask me, I'm going to use Windows Media, Windows Media Player. It is enough to give you an appropriate size of a plasma television, so that okay, at the left and the right side you're gonna have a suitable border. Okay, you're gonna have a suitable border, and then you will be able to enjoy your screen. All right, but without wasting time, let's just do a practical of this. So the Windows Media Player is very, very good. I recommend it. So what you need to do here is when you consider a laptop, you need to lose a laptop, and then you will see that there is a connecting circumference between the computer screen and the whole motherboard. All right. So this connection has to go um, appropriately to the. You remember you have a screen of your own which you have designed. All right. You have a screen of your own which you have designed. So what you need here is the connector. You see, what you need here is the connector. You need the connector to the you need the connector to the. Remember that when you have this motherboard instructed, you will have the connection point between your motherboard and then your screen. So, but remember that the screen you're preparing does not have a connecting unit. Okay, so what happens here is that you will connect you will connect the cable of your computer screen. You will take the computer screen. You will take the computer screen, and then you will use the connector and fix it exactly. You will fix it exactly where you have the. You will fix it exactly where you have the connections spot with your motherboard, and then you can change you can change the glass which you have prepared, right, suitable to what I have taught you, and then now you are starting to enjoy your iSpring free cam. Okay, the driver is available on the internet. All you need to do is to get the installation CD, or you can get the free trial, and then make sure that it is stable on your memory. Okay, it is stable on your memory. You can do the reinstallation at any time when you put on your TV. So you need your mouse also, or you can use your telephone to control Okay, when you get your telephone, there are lots of programs you can download actually in your phone to get this connection working. Okay, to get this connection working, so you can download it and study it. You will have a connection point that is suitable for you. All right, and then let me think a while if this lecture has served you very much. So remember, your glass is quite different from the connection point between your motherboard and your computer system entirely. So all I've just taught you here is the production of a new screen. Thank you very much.